Keeping my streak alive. I've never having watched a college basketball game this year.
Did you not watch the final?
No,
Really?
no.
You thought that
I-
that Angels Milwaukee game was going to be.
That was.
That's where you put that energy, did you?
If Gonzaga had been there, I would have watched it.
Yeah. No, you
I know you guys watched it and probably have some thoughts on Virginia's victory.
Well, you know what I'd love to see is what were the numbers going into that when it comes to viewers, right? Because like Vincent, even from the Final Four, it was very defensive minded, right? And I want to say the Michigan Texas Tech game at halftime was 23-21, right? So, and it started out that way. It started out like I'm already bored in the first 3 minutes of the game. It was slow going, trying to figure it out. And
the first 9 minutes of the game.
Well, I would say the first half is just
the first,
yeah. And then the second half was actually the whole game. It was very exciting.
Yeah.
It was
Some offense,
the last
apparently.
last 5 minutes were really, you were sucked in and you were actually stuck to the TV. Here we are looking at probably the Elite Eight games down and how referee judgment on certain calls really changed the way some of these games ended. I don't know if you were able to see the call last night where I'm not going to take anything away from Virginia. I'm not going to say that this call changed the game because it probably didn't. But the ball that was knocked out of the Texas Tech kid's hands, and they threw it in a super slow motion and literally looked at it for 10 minutes before there was a decision. And they said that the kid hit the ball out of his hands, and it was out of his hands. He punched it, but it was still rolling across his hand, and the pinky was on the ball.
Right.
And it would have given Texas Tech a chance, but the ball went the other way. And I just thought it kind of took away from the game and the finish. And I don't know, Vinny, it could have gone both ways. It was a coin flip. But when I saw it live to the eye, I'm like, that ball's going to Texas Tech. And then, all these different camera angles and showed the pinky didn't change the ball's direction.
Right.
It just went straight out, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Again, I'm not taking away anything from Virginia. I'm not saying that would have won the game, but
Texas Tech was still down 2. They would, they would have had
the ball.
Yeah.
You just never know, right?
Yeah, you don't know.
But I don't know. It just changed the finish of the game. Like, oh no.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I'm really tired of with college basketball. One is that if you're going to do replay, do it right, and if you're going to take that long, don't do it. Right? Put the timer on and say, "What'd you call? What did you see?" We can't come to a conclusion after 3 minutes of seeing this many. The call stands. Period. It's that quick.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think in a lot of ways the NFL has it right in that regard. And if you're going to do replay, then Virginia's not even there, right? Because that's a double dribble in the game, in the semifinal game. So if you're going to do replay, that you have to expand it for a couple of things, because that was a clear missed call and an obvious, and there was just no doubt about it. And in hockey, I'm not a big fan of the calling off goals on an offside that wasn't called 30 seconds before. Right. But if you're going to do replay, do it right, get it right. I think they got it right, but it took too long.
Yeah, and I don't know, for some apparent reason, I see how football and baseball, that these calls really these cameras really work. I don't know if it really works for basketball, because really they're only using it the last couple minutes.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's just really just like you got momentum and going in a game and everything, and then it just turns into the 2 minutes ends from the 2 minutes to the final buzzer almost takes from the start of the second half all the way to 2 minutes. It's really crazy how it all slows it down. And I don't know. It really took me away from a really fun finish. And Texas Tech, you got to give it to them, kind of the surprise team. And there's statistics that showed they were up by 3 with 2 minutes left. they were like 76% on closing that deal down. So you got to give it to Virginia, and the kid Guy. I mean, there was a lot of good 3-pointers that were being hit late, and I don't know.
You're right.
It was a great game, and I had a feeling that if Texas Tech was going to win this, they had to win it in the regular time, because they just, Virginia had overtime games, and they were just a little bit better on the defensive side. But overall, the finish was great. Other than that call, it kind of just threw a little damper in the thing.
Yeah, Virginia. The bottom line for Virginia is that they still had to make good on the luck that they got, and they did that all through the tournament. And it's just a great sports story to be the first number one, to be unseated by a 16 in the tournament, to come back and redeem themselves. That was a damn good team last year that got beat. And Tony Bennett wore that. I mean, he said that had nothing to do with his kids. And he said they're not in the offseason, they weren't in the locker rooms saying, we need to redeem ourselves. It's like, I'm the only one who has to redeem myself, right? He goes, I'm the one who screwed that up. That's, and now it's just about them getting to the Final Four, getting to the tournament. So hats off to them for that.
Yeah, and the fight in these kids, because it started in game one. Game one, they were down 14, 15 points in that game, and fought their way back. And
the over-under in that game was 119 to start.
Yeah.
Texas Tech was stuck at 10 points right at around the 9-minute mark, and
it went from 116 to 119.
Yeah, right. It was bad. It was low, and it looked like that until Texas Tech hit those three-pointers in a row, and then things started to get rolling before the half ended. But the thing that I think I was the most mesmerized by is that, you like to see some scoring, but that was some incredible defense.
Yeah.
Some of the most tenacious, stifling matchup defense I think I've seen in a long time.
On both sides.
There were always great defensive teams that could protect at the rim, right? Elijah Wan and Ewing and guys like that. This was a team defense, just staggeringly good.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And showed defense wins championships.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Going back to the Baltimore Ravens days.